8 years into the making, and I have finally done it. Twilight Princess HD has been beat. And spoiler alert, it was awesome. You might be saying, dude, it can't be that awesome if it took you 8 years to finally beat it. And there's some logic to that, but I disagree. Let's consider time here. Twilight Princess HD came out March 4th, 2016. The Nintendo Switch came out March 3rd, 2017. So before I got around to playing all the way through Twilight Princess, I had already moved on to Zelda Breath of the Wild. Plus, I have to admit, the opening about hour of Twilight Princess, it's a little slow. But after you get through that, hour-ish tutorial opening phase, this game really gets cooking, and it was a treat. This game has been at the very top of my backlog for, 8 years now. And if you watched my previous video on my, I think it was like top 5 games on my backlog, it was number 1. So I finally was like, you know what? I gotta fire up my Wii U and I have got to finish this game. And that's exactly what I did. And man, I was so dumb to take this long to finish it. Twilight Princess HD has easily become one of my favorite Zelda titles. I would definitively put it in my top 5, and it might be pretty high up there in the top 5. The characters, the dungeons, the items, the combat. I had a lot of fun with all of it. So I just want to kind of talk about these characters for a second. You've got Link, who this is a pretty cool looking Link. Especially after what you were getting with Wind Waker, which I like that too. I haven't played through that game yet, but that's next on my agenda. But I like that toon look. But this was kind of like a hybrid between Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, at least to me. And the gameplay felt very much that way too. But the characters, like Midna, just seeing her transformation at the end alone, I think makes this game worth playing through. You've also got Skull Kid making a comeback. You've got the hilarious looking clown dude named Fire. The fairies in this game I think look awesome. You get to be Wolf Link, which is super cool. You've got Yeto, which is like this Yeti dude who you help him and his wife out. The list goes on and on. Plus, I would say the Goron in this game have the most diversity of any Zelda game that I've played, and I just thought they looked super cool, especially the old Goron. And that old Goron's name, I think, is like a Gorabizo or something, but he's just a cool looking Goron rock dude. Also, Hero's Shade, the guy that you learn all your moves from. That is one rad looking skeleton dude. If you don't know what he looks like, just look him up. He is awesome. So yeah, the Hero's Shade, he's a guy that you learn your moves from. Like I said, he's this ancient warrior, and you find these wolf statues, and then you get to learn the new moves. And really, you don't have to use all the moves that you learn, but some of them, when you master them, they really are useful and they're fun to get the hang of. I never found the combat too difficult or frustrating. The most frustrating thing was probably the sumo wrestling, which honestly wasn't that bad either. More on the controls, I think they felt great. Very responsive, easy to get around. Thankfully, motion controls were not the focus. Really, you only use them when aiming kind of felt like Splatoon, and it was really well done, and I would prefer it that way. It didn't take any getting used to. It felt natural. I guess in the previous versions, the controls weren't great, especially on Wii, because I guess the motion controls were a big part of the game. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I have not played the old versions, just this HD remake. I think my favorite part of playing this game was just getting back to that traditional Zelda style and playing through these dungeons. And these dungeons, I think I can say they were my favorite that I've done in any Zelda game, possibly. Like, the Snow Peak Ruins is one that stands out for me. Usually I hate, like, the icy snow levels or dungeons, but this one was awesome. It's probably my most memorable. I mean, then you got, of course, the Temple of Time. The City in the Sky was pretty cool. Then you go to the Palace of Twilight. I mean, there's just so much in this one that I loved. The dungeons never got old. They always felt fresh and had new puzzles and things to do, which kind of takes me in to the items. Some of the items were definitely more useful than others. I think my favorite item in this was the spinner, but you don't really use it a whole lot outside of the dungeon that you get it in, sadly, but it was fun. It almost felt like you were kind of in a Tony Hawk type Twilight Princess mix. It was just super cool jumping around and spinning around on that thing. Also, when it comes to items, the Wii U gamepad makes it so nice switching between them. I don't know how it worked in the original Twilight Princess games, but for the HD version, I loved having the gamepad. And that's kind of my feelings about Breath of the Wild on Wii U. I really enjoyed having the gamepad, so initially I played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U before I got my Switch, and then I played it again on Switch, and I kind of really liked having that gamepad as I played through. I'm in no way saying the Wii U is better than the Switch, but I do love the Wii U. And as I mentioned earlier, playing through Twilight Princess really did feel like a combination of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So you kind of had the flow and pacing of Ocarina of Time, I felt, but then the characters and the dark nature of the game kind of lent its way more toward Majora's Mask. And to me, that is just a great combination. To me, Twilight Princess HD is a top tier game. If you had any hesitations of playing this one because maybe you played the old ones and they just weren't doing it for you, I'd suggest giving this one a try. If you have a Wii U anyway. I don't think many people do, but if you don't, this game, and from my understanding, Wind Waker, pretty much make it worth it. You can cross your fingers for a port, but who knows with the Nintendo. And my next plan is to actually play through Wind Waker, because I have not done that yet. So, do you think Wind Waker is the better game? Is Twilight Princess the better game? Let me know down in the comments. I didn't complete this game. I put about 40 hours exactly into it, and it was a delight. So I'm really looking forward to keeping this traditional Zelda adventure going. It feels really good to take a break from the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom style. So, when it comes to Twilight Princess HD, is there anything I'm missing? I mean, I didn't say anything bad about the game. I know I've heard people talk about the visuals not being up to par, or the frame rate maybe at times, but I loved it. I didn't mind those things. It felt like just a good, old-fashioned, tight Zelda adventure with a great story, great characters, awesome dungeons, and if they do release an update on Switch or just port it over, I mean, I'll play it again. So there you have it, my thoughts on Twilight Princess HD. Wonderful game. But hey, as always, remember, without video games, things do not seem to go as well.